guess, I don't think it's a proper translation, but I'll just use the colloquial way of translating. The ultra-Orthodox community. She can't stand it. Can't stand the Charedim. The Charedim do so much good in the world. You don't like the Charedim? She says, yeah, it's not for me, And I don't like the way they dress. I don't like the way they talk. I don't like the... So I decided I'm going to give a class. It was one of my better classes, when you try to teach for a long time. So even people don't know how to teach. We teach for 30 years. So at least one class comes out good. So this was one of my better classes. I gave a class for an hour and a half on the Yerushalayim Haredi telephone directory. I gave out telephone directories. In Jerusalem, we have like the regular Jerusalem telephone book. And then they have something called the Haredi. Anybody ever see it? It's called the Madrich Haredi. The Jerusalem directory of Haredi. So what do I want from this? They all sit down, they're expecting it. They hand out like Yerushalayim. And she was, of course, sitting right there. And we went through the tens and tens of pages of the goods and services that are offered in the so-called Haredi community, reaching out to each other, almost every imaginable way to help someone else. Almost every possible way in there. In Yerushalayim, anything you need to borrow. I'm not talking now only about money. Any possible area of chesed, any possible area of gemilut chasadim. Tens of pages. I'm not exaggerating. And when they said, okay, we got the point there, let's go on. No, let's read. Let's continue. We know what else is going on in Yerushalayim. You know what else you can do in Yerushalayim? You know who else is volunteering to help you in Yerushalayim? One Shavuot. Baruch Hashem, we had a house full of people. Thank God. Yes, I do invite everybody to come. Moshe said, yes, of course you're invited. It would be the biggest honor in the world. I'm leaving, I hope, Tuesday night back to Yerushalayim. You can come on the same plane. We come before, and so we'll see whatever you want to go. It would be the biggest honor for joining us in Yerushalayim. So it was Shavuot, the night of Shavuot, and thank God the whole house was filled with people. And one of my children, not on purpose, but one of my children stepped on my glasses and broke them completely. So I was sitting in a room, and I couldn't see clearly. What should I see? But it's like very blurred vision of and I'm sitting there. I'm supposed to try to run this meal, So Henny said to me, you once gave that shiur on the. My wife said, you once gave that shiur on the Madricha Haredi, So let's look at the Madricha Haredi. So sure enough, right in this directory to the goods and services of Jerusalem. I'm sure it exists in other places in the world also, but I want to go to Yerushalayim. And there's a whole long list of places that you can go and borrow. It was called the Gemach Mishkafayim. The free loan society of eyeglasses. Right, yeah. So but the meal's going on. So I'm trying to figure out, my exact. I don't know how they're going to do this. I said one of my daughters. We live in a place called Malot Afna. I hope you'll come to visit us. Malot Afna, not far from us. 15-minute walk, maybe less. There's a neighborhood called Sanhedria Murhavet, and there were like two places that advertised. Anybody wants to borrow glasses? I didn't think I said it's between this number and this number. And they come back about a half hour later with 3 different pairs of glasses. And Baruch Hashem, I made it through Shavuot. I can't tell you it was like perfect. Perfectly, because Yerushalayim is chesed. Because when someone has to make a simcha in Yerushalayim, and thank God, let's say a large family, and they have to buy new clothes for each of the children. So Yerushalayim, how many places there are to borrow outfits, to borrow gowns, to borrow suits, for any occasion you want? You know how many places there are in Yerushalayim where brides who can't afford bridal gowns can go to one of many, many locations and just get the most beautiful gowns in the world? One of the better things that we did in our life, I don't know if we ever did anything else, but at least one good thing we did is when we came to Eretz Yisrael, Baruch Hashem, 30 years ago. The Chasdei Hashem was about 2.5 months or 3 months after we got married. And Henny had bought a wedding gown. Our parents bought her a wedding gown. She didn't buy it. Her parents bought it. And when we came to Israel, the question was, what do we do with do the wedding gown. Now there are some mothers, bless all the mothers, bless all the daughters, bless all the daughters-in-law, bless all the mothers-in-law. But there are some mothers who have this dream that they're going to keep their wedding gown because, like with this great feeling of nostalgia, they want their daughters to wear the gown that they wore at their wedding. So Baruch Hashem, I've been at many, many weddings. One time I was at a wedding where the bride wore the mother's wedding gown. I don't know how common it is. That's what?
It's not common.
Not common. Okay, I don't know. Like maybe styles change. I mean, like unless they get married very early, it's usually at least a few years later, right? It's not. I mean, unless I don't know, cradle weddings, but I mean, it's usually 20 years later. But okay, so what are we supposed to do? So Henny said, let's pack it up. She gave it to a professional, cleaner, and we'll go to Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim is a city of Chesed, right? City of Chesed. So we're going to go to an orphanage. We went to a place called Bayit Lefleitot, I think. Bezrat Hashem, there should be no need for such places. Everyone should have a strong family unit. We went to Bayit Lefleitot, and we said, we just got married a few months ago, and wedding gown, an American wedding gown. We thought maybe, is there any way they could be used? He said, oh, thank you so much. They raise, it says an orphanage, an Israeli orphanage. They raise girls from, unfortunately, sometimes from birth, all the way till they get married. So he said, oh, why don't you come downstairs? I came downstairs, there were rows and rows, racks and racks of beautiful wedding gowns. It was so moving, right? Yerushalayim Shel Chesed, the whole place was filled. Okay, so, and he gave me the wedding gown, but that's not the end of the story. We Baruch Hashem came to Israel, it was I think in July, wasn't it July? In about November or December, we get an invitation in the mail. And Baruch Hashem, in every single wedding that most people are invited to, it usually says the names of the parents, right? Mr. and Mrs., doctor and doctor, or professor and professor, or rabbi and rebbe, whatever it is, or just the names. So-and-so and so-and-so and the other family, Mr. and Mrs. A and Mr. and Mrs. B invite you to the wedding of the children. And here, I looked at the names of the bride and groom. I didn't know who they are. Henny, do you know who they are? She doesn't know who they are. So I thought maybe they mistake it. Ready to throw it out. And then I saw it said, instead of the names of the parents, it said, Bayit Lefleitot of Yerushalayim, and Mr. and Mrs. Cohen, invite you to the wedding of their children. Well, Bayit Lefleitot. I said, oh, that's so interesting. Bayit Lefleitot is sending us an invitation to it. Again, I was about to throw it out. And then there was a note enclosed. And they wrote, please try to come to the wedding because the bride is going to be wearing your gown. We went to the wedding. And, okay, so Yerushalayim, there are many people that say when they need extra tables and chairs and china and all kinds of things. I'm telling you, study it. It's a good book to read. After the Tanakh, read the Madrich HaCharedi. Read it. You finish Shas for the first time. Say, take a little break. Study the Chesed pages of the Madrich HaCharedi. The power to see the greatness of Mechaberet et Kol Yisrael Zelazev. In Pirkei Avot we study, in the ethics of the fathers we read, Yossi ben Yochanan ish Yerushalayim omer, Yihi beitcha patuach l'revacha, v'yiyu aniyim b'nei beitecha. Yossi ben Yochanan, what's his name? Yossi, the son of Yochanan, ish Yerushalayim, the man of Jerusalem. He teaches your house should be wide open. Yihi beitcha patuach l'revacha, wide open. V'yiyu aniyim b'nei beitecha, and poor people should be part of your family. You should make the poor people feel as comfortable as you make family members. They should feel as if they're part of your family. That's his teaching. The question is, when it says that Yossi ben Yochanan ish Yerushalayim omer, Yossi ben Yochanan of Yerushalayim, the man of Jerusalem, is there any significance to the fact that he's ish Yerushalayim? Now I understand. Anyone that studies Pirkei Avot, anyone that studies the ethics of the fathers, there's another Yossi. There's somebody called Yossi ben Yoezer. So this is Yossi ben Yoezer ish Tzri.